All right, we are now live according to my system. I can't see it over on the other screen, but I'm going to assume that there's going to be a little bit of a lag. So I'm here today with Jim. You guys heard from Alex yesterday, and I really wanted to share Jim's story for a number of reasons. First off, not dissimilar to Alex, he has a full 9 to 5 job outside of his coaching. He's a father of a toddler, and he does Ironman training, which for anybody who doesn't know is the craziest training you can imagine. But it's also the amount of time that it takes is really, really crazy. I mean, you're going, 2 hour runs, 2 hour bike rides all the time, right?
Yeah. I save the long stuff for the weekends. But yeah, 2+ hour long runs, 4, 5, 6 hour long bike rides every so often. So,
which is wild. I mean, if you think about what Jim is able to accomplish, again, this is kind of a theme that I feel like is emerging. Is everybody's got the same amount of hours in the day, and I feel like all of us just want to put so much into those hours. So how do you do it? And I mean, you got a full-time job, you've got a young child, and you do Ironman training, and yet you're still able to sell these $1,500 a month packages. And perhaps the coolest thing about it is, before we started working together, you were selling $95 a month.
Yeah, $95 a month, strictly through DMs. It was, somebody would reach out to me. I'd say, yeah, here's what we offer. Boom, boom, boom. Right. $95. Here's a link to sign up. And that was the process, and it was effective, I guess.
You were getting some clients, right?
Yeah, we were probably, 15 to 20 clients month over month, give or take.
Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, you used to do just nutrition coaching. Now with your signature program, you said that you do a little bit of workout programming, you do some triathlon and marathon training, but it's still primarily nutrition, right?
Correct. Yeah, just most people come to us for the nutrition coaching. Mm-hmm. With OTA2 and the signature program, we started adding some exercise programming along with that. Just some simple, at-home workouts 3 times per week. Right. And then I do work with endurance athletes as well.
Yeah. And the endurance athletes is a really nice add-on. We have a lot of students who work with them. It seems to be a really, really strong market. You get these people just are obsessive.
Yeah. It's a lot of type A, right. Which is good. That means, at least what I've, experienced with them is, they're very regimented. They follow along, able to take direction and want to do the best job possible. So most of them are fairly easy clients.
So what I really want to talk about here with you, Jim, is 2 things. One, I want to begin with some time management for sure, and maybe get some strategies that people can take right away and take with them to manage your time better and begin to start to accomplish even a fraction of what you accomplish in any given day, in any given week. But then what I really want to hit on is both the strategy and also the confidence to raise your prices from $95 a month to what comes down to $500 a month.
Right.
I mean, that's a massive jump. And of course, there's strategy involved in that. I mean, how do you do it? How do you actually make the sale? I mean, you were doing it in DMs before, but like how you get people to come to you, how you bring them through that journey so that you can literally charge 5 times as much. But also the confidence to ask that, which I think is something that everybody needs to talk about a little bit more. You can't just jump in asking for more money, because I joke about this in the podcast. You're going to sound like Millhouse if you do it, asking out Lisa Simpson. You're like, I think I can help you, and will you? It's $1,500 for 12 weeks, but if that's too much, then it takes time to work up to the point where you can confidently know you're worth that, know that people will pay that. And so I want to talk about the process that you've gone through of raising that as well, because I know that it really has been a process with you. So let's start with kind of where you were before. Let's paint a little bit of a picture. You had 15 to 20 clients. You had a full 9 to 5 job, and you're a dad of a toddler, and you're doing marathons, triathlons. What was going on there? Were you able to manage it? Were you burning out? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, so funny enough, when we first started in the fall of 2017, went online with our nutrition coaching,
Mhm.
um,
And you did
and
precision nutrition, I think, right?
correct, yep.
Okay.
And nobody cared.
Right.
They didn't know us, we didn't know them, so we pretty much kind of promoted a new year, new you type of like weight loss challenge, right?
Something that sounds good because you see other people doing it, and it's like,
Right.
ooh, this sounds like it flows off the tongue. This has got to work, you know?
Exactly. And
Right.
I thought we were going to have dozens and dozens of people sign up.
Right.
I was promising a $500 cash prize to the winner. We had 6 people sign up at
there's your cash prize.
at 95 or $99 for 12 weeks.
Wow. Jeez. So you went from 2017 to now, you didn't 5 times what you were doing. You went $30 a month to $500 a month.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So all that that initial weight loss challenge thing, 6 people, we paid out the $500, and then with all the processing fees, we made like $80 for 12 weeks of work. But that's
and you had a young child, so that's like diapers for 5 days.
Yeah. So we're like, we could have packed it in at that point and be like, this just isn't for us, or I can't believe we're just up against too much competition. We don't have any chance.
Mm-hmm.
But a few months later, somebody reached out to us that had a large Instagram following just by chance, right? So they started working with us. They posted about it on Instagram, about their initial results, and I woke up one morning and we had 45 new clients.
Oh, wow.
And we had no systems in place, no way to service 5 of them, let alone 45 of them.
Right.
We had a bunch of different stuff on our website that was basically the same thing, but with minor differences, pricing all over the place, people signing up for this and that.
And no real idea why you were doing any of it. Right.
We had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scrambling for like a week trying to reach out to everybody and basically like, give me some time to figure this out and I'll be back in touch.
Which is the worst thing that you want to do. And you get this huge influx of clients finally, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
Right. So there was that. And then on the other side, I was like, there's no way it could be this easy that people would just like flock to us. So needless to say, fast forward a couple of years, and I think maybe like one of those people is still with us, which is cool. But, we just didn't have the structure in place. So spending a year or so trying to like build a system, one kind of streamlined program, kind of got us up on our feet, able to start to build something.
And that was what you built with OTA, I think, right?
Right. So we had a little bit of structure before that, but OTA was really what kind of like pushed us across the finish line.
Yeah, which is cool. Like that's a lot of the time what Online Trainer Academy Level 1 does. It basically takes people who have kind of tried this thing for a while, or tried this thing a little bit, and gives them the structure to take a step back and begin that journey, So talk to me about how you manage your time now. I'd love to know a little bit about how you figure out what to do when and get it all done.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is just the night before writing out 3 to 5 things that I need to get accomplished. And for me, it's things that I need to do, not things that I want to do.
Okay.
So
give me an example. What are like what did you write last night?
Content for social media, post something, and which we can probably get into a little bit as we go through. But next week we're going to promote like a free 5-day challenge to funnel people into our free Facebook group. So we do that every 8 to 12 weeks or so. So just getting the content in order for that. I put this conversation on my list, and I have the other thing here. I actually got to do something for my day job. So that was it. So those are my three three things like need to do today.
And what's your day job, just for anybody listening?
I do communications for New York State, a state agency. Cool. So like public relations, press releases, dealing with the media, etc.
Cool.
So awesome. For me, it's like I have this list of things that I know I need to get done, and I'm not like super detailed, like blocking things off every 15, 30, 60 minutes. But I have parts of the day where I know this is my time for this piece, right? So most days I'm up at 5. I work out myself from 5:30 to 6:30. 6:30 to 7 is like just kind of relax, get my thoughts together. 7 to 8 is where I do the content for our free Facebook group. I do a daily video, and that's where I just kind of plan out the Facebook posts, the Instagram posts for the day, and have them all ready to go.
Yeah, it's this idea of like structure breeds freedom. I mean, because you take a little bit of time before you do the work to figure out what work is going to get done, you are able to sit down, do the work, and step away from it and be like, okay, it's done.
Right.
I mean, that's brilliant. There's a quick question that says, Jim keeps saying we, us, referring to his business. Why? Is that just you being humble? You do some business with I think your wife is involved.
Yeah, my wife helps out. I do, 95% of the business, but she helps out. So that's why I say we.
So there's a lot of questions here that are talking about. I'm just seeing them pop in, and they're talking about, my clients are too shy, or my clients don't want pictures shared of transformations. What do you do? I can't post before and afters because my clients won't let me. How do you kind of navigate that? Do you have anything you do to get the permission before? How do you ask them? What's your process?
Yeah, so I have a couple of different strategies for that, because we have one woman who would be our like all-star client of all time. She's lost over 70 pounds, did not do a single workout. Excellent marketability for the audience that we're trying to appeal to.
What do you mean did not do a single workout? Just on the nutrition?
Just nutrition. Just eating properly, dropped 70 pounds in a year. But she's not comfortable with us sharing her photos, which is fine. And I've told her, I'll never share your photo without asking your permission. So that said, I bring up the conversation every 12 weeks or so, and I say, hey, compliment them, say, this is what we're looking at for the future. It would be really inspiring, I think, if we can share your picture. She always says no, but she's always said that she's fine with me sharing her words. So in our conversations, whether that's through the messaging app in Trainerize, or her comments on posts in our private Facebook group, screenshot, share that in Instagram story, share that on Facebook. So it's not a picture, but sometimes the words that people use really resonate with other people who would be interested in the program. And that tells a better story sometimes.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the words are powerful. You want to use their words as much as possible. And the screenshot is great. You can also use a picture you can also use like a stock photo or something like that and say, this is not whoever, Michelle. This is not Michelle. Michelle didn't want her picture to be shared, and we respect that. This is what Michelle had to say. Right? Michelle is a real person. If you want to speak to Michelle, I can put you in touch. Like, I'm not making this up, but she doesn't want her picture photo. Sure. And another way that we really like to do, we actually have a section of this, if you haven't seen it yet, in the Online Trainer Academy textbook. So all of you people have it. I believe it's in module 3, celebrating clients. And we talk about actually collecting like total weight loss, total metrics at the end of each week and showing an image. It's like, hey, my clients lost 27 pounds this week. Here's what one of them had to say. And you could potentially even use a picture of one of your clients that is okay using her picture to represent everybody.
Right.
You can do all of that. We're coming out. I don't even know if you know this, Jim, but we're coming out with a service where we're actually building an online training business of our own that we're going to run, and it's a fitness coaching service, and it's going to be specifically for personal trainers. And one of the main marketing elements are a few letters that are being written. And it's basically a letter from one trainer to another. Well, one of the letters that we're writing is actually an amalgamation of people representing our avatar. And we call that out. We say, I'll say Michelle again. Michelle is not just one person. Michelle's an amalgamation of people that we've spoken to. If you feel like you've connected with it, there's a reason, right? This is how well we know you. We could basically make up a story that hits you so deep. That's powerful. Like don't lie. I mean, this is not a real person.
Right.
But cool. I want to talk about confidence, and I
Sure.
want to talk about raising prices, because I think it is crazy that you went from effectively $30 a month to $500 a month. And then most recently, of course, from $95 a month. Really, pretty quickly, you did it.
Yeah.
To $1,500 for 12 weeks. So tell me what the process was. Not so much from the 30, but from the 95, because you were rolling pretty well at 95 a month, right? Like you were enrolling people, like you were making some money, but it obviously wasn't anything close to what you're doing now.
Yeah, at the 95 per month, like I said earlier, we were at like 15 to 20 clients every month. So, $1,500 to $2,000 or so extra, which if you would have told me that 3 years ago after getting paid $80 for 12 weeks of work, I would have said, hell yeah, let's do it.
But I'm going to interrupt you. That is a super important point that I don't want to gloss over. This is a step-by-step progression.
Right.
You're not going to jump into doing a barbell squat with 3 plates on each side or a marathon. Exactly. You're going to walk to a light post and back. Right. Then you're going to go for a light jog, right? Then you can go a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther. Like it's a progression, which is very important to know. You don't compare the last chapter in your book or somebody else's last chapter in their book to the introduction of yours.
Right. And, that kind of progression, that step by step, I kind of took like a little bit of a different route, because with the first cohort of OTA2, the modules were reversed around a little bit. So we're getting stuff in a little bit different order than people are now. So, looking at this, at the material, it's like, here's the price point that you should be asking for. And I was just like, all right, let's give it a shot. So I scheduled a couple calls, and I just was like, it's $2,000 for 12 weeks. And I sounded just like your imitation of Millhouse earlier. Like, it's $2,000, but maybe, I think I could probably, whatever you want to pay.
Right. So I could do better though. I could do better.
Right. And it was a lot of me getting on the phone and talking about me. I realized, like, I'm responsive. I'm there for you 24/7, whatever you need. Like, people don't, I don't want to say they don't care about that, but I'm realizing that that's not the selling point. And Jason said something a few weeks ago that like was one of my like aha moments where it just kind of like clicked. And he said, people are paying. people are paying you for results. They're not paying you to talk to them. Yeah. So that to me was like, okay, so that makes a ton of sense. So I shot for the moon and missed the first couple times, saying it's $2,000 for 12 weeks because I wasn't confident in it and they could tell I wasn't confident in it. So the answer was always going to be no.
Right.
And then I kind of reached out for help and was like, hey, I'm missing the mark here. And they're like, you and Jason were like, yeah, don't start at 2,000, like work your way up. So 95 became 95 a month became 500 for 12 weeks. Got 2 people there. Then 750 for 12 weeks. Got 2-3 people there. 1,000 for 12 weeks. Got a couple people there. 1,500, which is where I'm at now. And that's where I've been. And I think the good thing about that is that's where I'm most comfortable. I've gotten plenty of people at that $1,500 for 12 weeks, and trying to raise it, I can tell that I'm not confident in pitching 2,000 for whatever reason. Right now, that's just how I feel.
But I mean, that might be the right price for you right now.
Right.
Like, why do you, like at a certain point, you might not need to go up. So you don't feel like you need to. I want to just unpack that a little bit before we move on, and make sure that it's super, super clear. The idea is wherever you are now, you bump it up incrementally until at least one person, probably 2, pay you that amount. And the reason for that, quite simply, is now you're confident that people will pay you that amount. Then you bump it up a little bit more, right? And ask for a little bit more. And then once 1 or 2 people pay you that amount, then you bump it up a little bit more. I mean, that's how you gain your confidence with sales. You don't just jump in with what you're doing. And when you do that, you'll find that people are way more committed that are paying more money as well. Let's unpack that idea of people are paying you for results, because that is something, I mean, we see it. I see it all the time in this group. For example, this is being posted in the Online Trainer Academy student and alumni group. And I see it all the time here when people are posting their USPs and stuff like that. They're basically talking about what they're going to deliver the person. I'm going to deliver you programs. I'm going to deliver you nutrition. But the reality of it is, the biggest benefit, perhaps the biggest benefit of online training above anything else, is you can now give your client what he or she needs, when they need it, how they need it, specific to them, in a way that gets them results. You're their concierge service. That might mean that some of the people you work with, like this woman who's lost 70 pounds, never need a workout. It doesn't matter. Right. So if you were to say to her, I'm going to give you workouts, she literally wouldn't buy. This is somebody who you're doing the nutrition coaching with and has lost 70 pounds and is doing amazing. And it sounds like you guys have a great relationship. And I mean, everything is great with her. But if you were to actually pitch her and say, I'm going to give you programs, she would go to somebody else. That's like, you have no idea really what a client needs. And for the most part, it's probably a lot less than you think. Even if it's more than you think, you'll figure that out in the intake. So talk about how you target clients. Talk about the type of phrasing you use, the type of people you speak to, and then how some of the phone calls go and how those conversations go to figure out what they need so that you can actually tailor your conversation and your services to them when you're talking to them.
Sure.
I'd love to hear about that. Yeah.
So my USP is I help moms over 40 lose up to 20 pounds in 12 weeks while drinking wine and eating whatever they want. So that speaks directly to a large population, but you know, we have some specific targeted words in there. And what I did probably about a year ago now, I surveyed our current clients at that time, and just asking kind of general but slightly specific questions just to see what types of words they would reply with.
Cool.
And I picked out the most common words, and those are the words that I use in.
And what were those?
Lose weight, more comfortable, clothes fitting better, pretty general, but
now you're speaking their language
exactly.
and not trainer language. Trainers are like, well, the number on the scale doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. Fat loss matters, but your client doesn't know that. And if you market and say lose fat versus lose weight, it may not connect with your person.
Right.
If you try to convince somebody that the number on the scale doesn't matter and they're weighing themselves every single day, you're not going to have a chance to help them. I mean, it's brilliant. Just that the new, I mean, that's where your communications background, I guess, comes in. But the nuances of the language and the specific words that they use is exactly what you need to acquire. Right. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, one other phrase that really stuck out was get toned, right? And we all know that really means lose fat and get leaner.
Doesn't really mean anything. Yeah.
But they use it. They use it, so I use it.
Sure.
And it resonates with them. So that's kind of how we build our social media content. So to target people, initially a few years ago, I tried the Facebook ads thing, wasted like $200-300 on that. It didn't work. I didn't put the time in to figure out the nuances of it, and never got back around to doing it. So we don't pay for ads. I post on my personal Facebook page once per day, my Instagram once per day, and they are the identical posts. I just copy paste and just throw a picture up on Instagram. And like I said, I do a daily video in our free Facebook group. And
so your profit margin is like 95%.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is, I mean, for anybody who has been in any, like, run a business in any kind, I mean, that is beyond uncanny. Like, that doesn't exist in most worlds, universes.
I think, outside of the cost for OTA2 and all of that, my expenses are less than $200 a month to run my website.
Can I trade businesses with you?
I'm not as profitable as you are yet, so I don't know if you want to do that.
Your profit margin is a heck of a lot better, and you don't have the stress of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in expenses.
Sure.
So
yeah.
You probably sleep easier than I do, knowing that you're not going to have to make enough revenue to account for a few million in expenses every year. Cool. We just have a few minutes left. I want to talk about the conversation that you have with them, because I love that you spoke about the language, kind of getting them into your community and stuff like that. When you're actually on the phone with them now, how do you work through that process of listening to them and hearing what they need so that you can actually communicate your program in a way that's meaningful to them?
Yeah, again, it's just a lot of basically taking a survey of them on the fly and taking notes, listening to what they say. And I ask questions, but at the same time, a lot of it is just repeating their words back to them with a question mark at the end. So if they're like, I want to lose 20 pounds, I'll just say, okay, so you want to lose 20 pounds? And then they'll just keep talking. And they'll give me more information that I can use to just reframe a question. And they'll say, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds. Or I'll say, well, why is that? Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? And they say, well, I want to feel better. And then it's just why? Not like, a toddler, but, you ask in a compassionate, empathetic way to get them to open up. I take notes. I have like take all notes during all the conversations, write down the keywords, and then just relay it back to them. And they open up. They're telling me things that they don't tell their husband or wife. And that's it. And they open up, and I can use those words and ask questions to dig a little bit deeper, get to the root of their issue. And then as I kind of build the program out for them on the phone, I'm explaining the program using the words that they used and explaining how it's going to hit the goals that they want to achieve in the most efficient way possible. And that's how it's been working. I mean, it's
their words and their languages about the things that they care about.
And that's how it's just pay attention and listen.
It's that I feel like pay attention and listen. How do you go from $95 a month to $500 a month? Just pay attention and listen.
Right. Because I
feel like that's kind of it.
I'm not really offering that much extra than I was at $95 a month.
So we got to wrap up here. I see there's a couple questions. Why 12-week packages instead of monthly? 12 weeks isn't a magic number. We do teach people, we do start with 12-week packages that we teach people in the Online Trainer Academy Level 2 to sell. We found that 12 weeks is the right balance in it's attainable, it's not too far out, and you can get really good results. It's not so much about like a 12-week package, it's more about a transformation that you're selling them on. That is one of the main keys of selling somebody at higher price points, of getting people more hooked in, of acquiring customers that are much, much better. Monthly, you kind of have no real goal that you're committing them to, no real transformation. So monthly is fine to start, but I always recommend going to transformation type packages once you've gotten more dialed in with your program and with the people that you're serving. Some of our people in OTA2 do 8 weeks, some do 12, some do 14, some do 16. It's really a matter of specific for them, but we always say 12 because 12 seems to be the sweet spot for the majority of people. What do they want to do after 12 weeks? When you start, basically retention starts actually day one. When you start on day one, you book in what we call a checkpoint call with them near the end of the program. That checkpoint call, like I said, gets booked in on day one, so it's in the calendar. The checkpoint call reviews their progress, creates their vision moving forward, and you sell them on the next package. And the next package is often either 12 weeks, or that's when you sell them into a 6-month or a 9-month or a 12-month package. It's very hard to sell people on a 12-month package on day one. It just, unless you have a really strong brand working for you, like Precision Nutrition can do it because they've been around for 15 years creating content, creating a brand. If you haven't, then it's very, very tough. We've got to get going. Jim, one last question. If somebody was considering joining Level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy and they're not quite sure if they're doing it or maybe skeptical, what would you say to them?
Just do it. The imperfect action is what we all should really be doing. Honestly, I might sound like I have it all together, but I just kind of make it up as I go. And much like I'm on the phone with potential clients, I'm paying attention and I'm listening. I do the same thing with myself and the different steps I'm taking every day. I'm paying attention, what's working, what's not working, what's taking up too much of my time, and try and streamline that and lean it out a little bit. That's really my best advice. Just one last quick note. I built like 8 weeks of social media content. If people have been doing this for a while, you have 8 weeks of good social media content somewhere. Go back into your Facebook memories, all of that. I put it into a Google Doc, and I have it. It's already written. Each day, drag, paste, and just recycle. I don't have large social media followings, 800 friends on Facebook, less than 1,000 on Instagram. And in my free Facebook group, I have less than 150 people. And in May, I did $8,500 in revenue. So you don't need a massive following, and take that imperfect action to just start taking the steps and move forward. And if OTA2 could help me with all this different stuff I have going on day to day, it can help you. I'm absolutely confident of that. Just so long as you pay attention and listen. That's it.
Yep. For sure, man. If you guys are interested in OTA2, you're welcome to fill out an application, the ptdc.com/OTA2. Fill out the application, schedule the first of your 2 interviews. We vet people really strongly. We only want to work with people we know that can absolutely crush it. If you're not ready at this time, then you're not ready at this time, and that's totally cool. Thanks so much, Jim. Man, this was great. Looking forward to more, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.